Welcome back. The world's biggest retailer by volume and profit, that would be Walmart, warned today that it may have to start raising prices later this month due to President Trump's tariff policies. Walmart's CEO made the announcement, and it appears to be a pretty clear signal, at least from this one big retailer, that the president's trade war is about to filter through the American economy. J.D. Durkin is at the New York Stock Exchange, joins me now. J.D., always great to see you. I want to play for you two pieces of sound. One from the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer of Walmart. His name is John Rainey. And then someone a little bit more recognizable to our audience, the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, not only about prices at Walmart, but supply shocks to come. Let's listen.
Just a week ago, we were at 145% tariffs. Now, we're very appreciative of the progress that the administration has made to get them down to this level, but I would say that it's still too high for consumers. We'd like to see them come down more.
We may be entering a period of more frequent and potentially more persistent supply shocks, a difficult challenge for the economy and for central banks.
JD, give me your perspective.
Well, we'll start with Walmart here, Major, and I think the way you lay it out is really important. There's really no surprise to me why so many analysts make the argument that Walmart is, in their estimation, the most important company in the United States of America. It's really the canary in the coal mine for the pressure points that American shoppers and retail goers are going to face. In this case, for the months and the weeks ahead, it is the largest employer in the U.S. outside of the federal government, touting a workforce of more than 2 million people. 90% of Americans, Major, live within 10 miles of a Walmart. So when Walmart speaks, and they are out there very much taking the lead in this very uncertain terrain that we're in for Wall Street. And you hear the Walmart CFO very clearly communicating that they are now at the pressure point where they expect tariffs to be passed down to the consumers. I think you had a lot of other retailers out there who've been kind of looking over their shoulder, waiting for Walmart to be the first big name to say something like that. In fact, they put a pretty close timeline on here, Major. They said they're looking to do it this month into next month. I think this clearly communicates and signals that the cost of the new U.S. tariffs are prepared to be passed down to the consumers. And then with regards there to the chairman of the central bank, Mr. Powell, those supply shocks here, he sees an economy that is set to be more volatile with inflation. Remember, we've had this big lingering debate down there in Washington about whether or not the price increases from tariffs would be a one-time sticker shock, or might they be a bit more lingering? Chairman Powell is now pretty clearly leaving the door open to that second possibility, and that spells a continuation, I would argue, of the very uncertain terrain that the president's tariff policies have had now over Main Street as well as Wall Street.
And, JD, this is, for our conversation, really a China-focused conversation, because though the market earlier this week celebrated, or last week, going down from 145% tariffs to 31%, 31% is still very, very high. And as Walmart made clear, suppliers can't absorb that, retailers can't absorb it. It has to be passed along.
There will always be some effort from the Walmarts of the world or any other retailer to try in good faith, I would think, to absorb some of those costs. Some of the export costs will be absorbed. But ultimately, yes, I think you are correct. That will be passed down. And I think that some semblance of a deal with China is really the ultimate white whale of all this. The Trump administration is trying to get Beijing to heel, which is far easier said than it is done. It's one thing to have these other trade announcements that cross the finish line. Yes, Wall Street wants to see progress made on all of those. But really, when it comes down to the stickiness and the political differences, geopolitics at play between Washington and Beijing, it is good we got some answers. It's good we have a so-called meeting mechanism, as Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent laid out a few days ago. But there's still a lot of unanswered questions there, Major. We know it's a 90-day pause. What is the timeline implementation? What happens after that? Can the numbers be adjusted in the near term of those 90 days? That makes forward-looking guidance from the Walmarts of the world incredibly difficult. And as we know, the stock market is largely driven on optimism for the future, but that future is unclear right now.